I'm going to show you how to transfer some printed text. So if you have a printer at home and or you found some letters in a magazine and you would like to incorporate it into your into your map, excuse me. Here is one way you can do it. So you have to go on your computer and make sure it's the exact font, it is the exact size that you need it to be, and you're going to print it out. And I would, because my map is not always going to be straight lines, I'm going to really think about cutting it out and kind of seeing how I would place things. So I would say maybe hello, and then maybe Miss Park is not going to go in a straight line. Maybe Miss Park is going to go underneath it. And the nice thing about this is that it's going to show you how I can follow the rules of typography so that there's even baseline grids and the X height grid, at baseline and the X height, and that, there are even widths of the letters. And so it's not just like handwriting. And I know some fonts do look like calligraphy, but calligraphy and just handwriting are not the same thing as typefaces. So there is a uniformity and an evenness that each typeface letter, the alphabet follows. And so I've actually printed out like a variety of different fonts, but I'm going to show you two. So what you're going to do is, so if I want to have hello go across here, I'm ready to do this. And basically I'm making like a carbon paper and I'm gonna just make a print of this. So I'll take this, I'll flip it over, take my pencil, and I'm gonna shade pretty heavily. And if I were in a printmaking room, this would kind of be like the ink, and I'm inking up the surface. I need it to be pretty dark because when I lay it over here, I'm going to then now trace over my letters. Kind of doing a messy job. I'm kind of trying to go over the thickness of the letters too. You might have better luck just making a single line. I'm just really rushing through this, which is, guys, don't rush. Artists, don't rush. And here we go. So ready? When I pull this away, I will see the imprint of the pencil, all of the rubbing that I did here. And so if I am ready now, I can take, do I have markers? Well, got a Sharpie. I can take my Sharpie and I can now redefine it and kind of edit it as I go along, because I know like I kind of made some mistakes. So you can do this with marker, you can do this with color pencil. I would even, depending on your aesthetic, if you want to have a little bit more vintage look, I can even take my pencil and make it subtle. And remember, you're only using two different typefaces, and you do want to vary it, so some of that variety can happen in the way that you are shading it in or coloring it in. Now, so this went on a straight line. And what's nice that I can show you here is you can see all of the colors underneath it. Hello. All right. So now what happens if because maps have curved lines, what happens if you have a curved line? So let's just use the Miss Park part. I'm gonna do the same thing. If there are curved surfaces that I want to have this happen on. You know, certainly, and in another video, I'll show you how to do your own hand lettering. Maybe you don't have a printer, maybe you want to just do your own hand lettering. I'm going to show you how to create some block letters, which are sans serif letters, right? Without those little curlicues at the end. And then we'll use those block letters to turn them into serif letters. So let's say I would like to have Miss Park kind of going along this ridge. Well, you have to really think about, I'm going to cut it a little bit closer, and I'm going to use this curve of the yellow as the baseline. So if we're thinking typography as the baseline for this font. Okay, and then my S will turn slightly. So we'll have to adjust my placement of the letters as the baseline curves. And this is also a nice way to like slightly tweak your kerning. Remember, which is the spaces between your letters. Okay, so here I have Miss Park. And I can just go back and now and you know what? I made that P and the dot way too close. So before I did this rush to do this Sharpie portion, I should have just redrawn the part a little bit further away, but now I'll just have to live with it. And that might confuse some readers from understanding what that means. If they didn't know who I was, maybe. Anyway, so that's a mistake that I will have to live with. But this is how to transfer over some printed letters onto your map.